Alright, it is season reset. I know I normally don't record stuff like this, but I wanted to record something just for an hour. And I may not even record the whole full hour, I may cut in between parts. Since I can do that pretty easily just by pausing the recording. But this is probably going to be the last recording I'll do until the new console comes out. And then it'll be Mario Kart all the way. I've not really had time, which I know is a very common thing for me recently, to play Monster Hunter or anything else for that matter. So I was able to record the S-Blast episode for Splatoon last week, but I really wasn't able to do anything else last week just because I have more important things in life that I had to do and I wanted to do. So hopefully I'll be able to maybe get back into the swing of things with Mario Kart and stuff like that. And I thought about playing Mario Kart, but I haven't played actual online Mario Kart in such a long time. So as good as a warm-up may have been, I also do need to get back up to S Plus because of the season reset. I do want to offset as much pain as that is going to be going through. At the very least, I can try to relax and have a fun time with it. I'm using ballpoint. I'm going to use different stuff probably if I don't really feel this weapon, but we'll see. It's all about having fun here and not really overstressing about too much. And I may even, play. It's the weird thing is it's like, okay, yes, I can play this game on the new console as well, but not much is going to be different. I don't even know if I'm getting the new controller. That will very much rely on the amount of funds I actually have if I'm able to even purchase it comfortably. But it's just going to be a fairly slow session. So they have a Hydra, and I don't like that Hydra, so I'm going to keep an eye on him and make sure he can't hurt my friends. This is such a nice zones weapon though. You have defense, you have good paint, and lots of defense. That's pretty much what it is. And zones is a pretty good defense map. Try to just get rid of this. I'm not really too scared of the Junior. He may take control. He doesn't actually get to do that though thanks to our teammate, so that's great. I'd like to maybe jump up. Okay. Ooh, don't go after me, please. Okay, we're good. I do need to put these down though and not waste them. I have the option to use them, so I'm going to use them. Alright, stay out of the sight line of our friend. Just keep an eye on him. We'll go ahead and block all of this. We got 11 points left. Really shouldn't take too long. That'll work very well in covering the zone. And we'll take the win. Now, I do think Vacuum was actually nerfed painting-wise. I know they kept buffing it and they kept buffing it, but I think it was nerfed recently. And by recently, I mean like in the last 6 months. But I don't think it's as strong. So you can't cheese as easily, but that's not really the purpose of what I'm using it for. I'm just using it more as a defensive tool that can also paint. So block their paint and repaint the zone if we have to. If stuff gets past me. And don't expect good play. You can probably hear that I'm a little sick. And I don't play well in general. So especially being sick, I'm just not going to play well at all. But hopefully we can, again, have some fun with it. Enjoy it. I am curious though. So the new console, which I will continue to refer to as new console because I'm just referring to it that way for whatever reason. It does so for the Switch 1 games, it does emulation partly and then partly from the hardware. I assume the hardware does what it can and then the emulation makes up for the rest of it. That's weird. No stranger to emulation, obviously, but in an online game like this, I would assume you would rather be, and technically, yes, you're on console, but I would assume you'd rather it be console only. Now, obviously, it's either have backwards compatibility with a bit of emulation mixed in, or don't have it at all. Obviously, one's going to be better than not having it at all, but I find it interesting. What are we going to be, because emulation is emulation. You're gonna see the cracks in it occasionally, right? It's not going to act perfectly. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot less cracks on the Nintendo in-house games than, say, Monster Hunter Rise, probably. I doubt they even upgrade that with, like, better frame rates and whatever. Unless the game itself wasn't capped. I'm not sure if Rise was capped or not. I couldn't get very high up, but it may have been capped at 30 and just was trying to keep that. It didn't really keep that all the time, but it did a pretty good job of it for, I mean, a Switch 1 game that looked that decent. Now, when you blow it up to a computer screen, or a big computer monitor with, you know, high graphics and all that, doesn't look as nice, but I've never really been too much of a stickler for high fidelity graphics. I think that's the right word for it. I do just like, okay, well, hello. Okay, didn't have enough range on it. I should have actually pressed him, I guess, at that point. I just started charging earlier. But I favor stylized graphics more than just like resolution and all that. That's my preference, honestly. Because I really do just enjoy Generations Ultimate graphics. Don't take me out, please. This is a very awkward spot I'm in. Charger's up top. Can't really do much against him right now. I'd like to use my vacuum charger. Is now down, so I'm going to actually work on painting. I see this fella over here. Yeah, he's trying to take me out, but you don't have the range. We're in control, so I'm not going to worry as much. Very good. They are in control. I'm going to wait. I'm very much being fodder for the charger. I'm very surprised he got me there. I must have had enough residual link damage because that only does 90 damage with the direct. Not that that's, you know, too surprising, but this is not a fun map sometimes. Really just depends on your team makeup. Okay. I forgot. They did give that thing more range. I completely forgot about that. I'm trying to fight it like it's shorter range. That's not. It has higher shot velocity now, which means it shoots further as well as just being faster. Not really doing a very good job, however, I also don't really feel too safe doing much else. Protect my friend here. That is not great. Try to get rid of this, and I apologize if I don't talk too much, however I do try to focus sometimes. Talking is a very large detriment to my ability to play when it's not already great in general. I'm just gonna try to do what I can and do what I can and not do all that I can because I've already failed on that front. Not really sure where our friend went. Alright, we can drop. Good job. Charger's the one still alive. He's up on platform, which is not smart for him because we actually are able to kind of just circumvent his range. That was very good shot RNG there, thankfully. It actually worked. Charger's fixing to come back, so I'm going to back off a little bit and try to get my special. Charger's on the left. He's taking some damage. That is why you do not perk Charger. Okay. But again, I'm not used to the range on the weapon now. I may actually pick it up. That sounds like fun, maybe. It's definitely closer to 56 gal. 52 gal. You know, obviously not right there. However, it may be like indistinguishably close, especially in like the heat of the battle. I can't really do much here, unfortunately. I would like a not so wally map. I don't know, it's weird. So like, obviously the Charger also doesn't want a wally map, so that benefits him more than it would me probably, but Maybe I should be more aggressive than what I've been being. Back in control. Can't really do much to save the day there. However, I can get this. Try to shoot that over. Disrupt them at the very least. I do see someone coming over this way, so I'm going to try to catch him. Very good. Things go better when I actually do stuff. We did lose our friend. Yeah, we do not need to poke that. That's like the last thing we want to do. Thankfully, we are now very much in control. Just gonna stay away from this guy. I do want to put these down. That way we do have a better chance at actually defending any paint that comes forward. And we'll take the lead. All right, awesome. That's what, 2 wins? Unless I'm missing a game. No, that's 2 wins. First one went really quick. So, cool. Works out pretty well. But yeah, like I was talking about, I'm curious how the game's gonna run online being emulated. Is that gonna make the latency problems worse? And especially, so since it's having to, you have to assume there's crossplay, right? Between consoles. Would not make sense whatsoever. If there is not crossplay, right? That would just be foolish to think otherwise. So we're assuming that now, if that's the case, obviously they have to limit the game to run at Switch 1 hardware, or else things are going to be weird. Like the game can't load any faster. Maybe in offline areas, which would be cool, but and that's the thing. Like, okay, online matches run at Switch 1 specs. Non-online matches, and that's also including non-LAN, anything like that. So all the story modes, it would be nice if they bumped it up to 120, because obviously the Switch can run it at 60. Switch 2 can run it at 120. It should have no problems doing that. They're not going to do that. They're probably just going to put more effort into actually making a new game. And also, if you do increase the frame rate, I assume a lot of the timing systems of the game are based on being strictly 60 FPS. It'd be a similar thing to like Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, or what else? What else would it be? I guess Generations as well, but some games, oh yeah, the earlier titles that are on PSP that only run at 60, you can't change them without some things breaking. Now, like for me in a Prowler playthrough, it doesn't affect anything in that regard, other than the buff icons just flashing really quickly. Like if you've watched any of like the Deviant runs and stuff like that, and just general gameplay, you'll see those icons go really quick and really crazy because they're built off of assuming the game is running at 30 FPS. The PSP games, you can put a 60 FPS code in to technically run them at 60 FPS, but that just doubles the speed of everything. It doesn't actually do anything to increase the frame rate limit. And if for whatever reason you could, it would ruin things. And, make the game unplayable. I mean, that's what it already does. It boosts the frame rate, but everything runs at double speed, which is not what you want from Monster Hunter. Maybe that'll be good. Help out at the very least. I'm going to stay back here in case someone does run around here. That looked very suspicious. It's not going to matter because we're going to win anyways. Okay, well, that happened. But it may be the same case here where since the game is locked pretty much to 60, it can have frame drops, but since it is assumed to be running at 60, I'm sure a lot of the game's timing-based systems and just generally how the CPU runs and whatever, I don't exactly know how it all works, is assuming that. So if you did just remove the frame rate cap, stuff's going to get messed up. And if you're only going to do it for story mode, which is not the main point of the game, right? they may not feel that it's worth it, which I don't think it would be, honestly, at that point. 60 FPS is just fine. Again, would it be nice to have 120? Absolutely, but not at the detriment of other things. Like, that's just more or less, if we could have it, it'd be great, but we don't have to have it. And again, it just would take some changing around of stuff. So, and to the point where they would maybe have to rework the entire game, which would not be worth it in that regard. And that would be another reason why Generations Ultimate would not receive a patch or anything. Unless they did a paid version. I highly doubt Capcom cares that much about the game, though. Unfortunately, it's my favorite game, but it's not Capcom's favorite game, obviously. I think the only reason they even think about it is because it is on one of the current consoles, which will become somewhat obsolete once the new console comes out. So, yeah, I don't expect them to do anything with that game, which, again, would absolutely love to have it running natively at the very least 60. It certainly can run at 120, but they did a pretty poor job from what I've heard of optimizing the game for Switch. It was kind of a rush job. Because obviously it's a 3DS game, just kind of upscaled, and that's about it. Put on one screen as opposed to two. So, while an emulator runs great, absolutely amazing, 120, there's some weird hiccups here and there, but again, like I said before, for Prowler, you don't get any weird like damage tick problems like with piercing ammo, I believe, and stuff like that. Monster AI is not affected by it at all either, at the very least from what I've noticed. So trying to think. Oh yeah, I was going back and forth with like Crystal Beard and that's a bit annoying. May want more run speed, but Crystal Beard I was going back and forth between console and PC, and it's not something you can feel. And really any other fight as well. Stone Fist, you got the earlier ones that I was doing. Now I just kind of do them on PC because I feel pretty confident that Prowler can handle all of the monsters. It's just the problem children that I want to take care of and see how much issue I'm going to have with them. And a lot of the other stuff, like, so on my console save, I have Weakness Exploit, which I don't have on the no DLC save, because that's kind of the whole point. Try to get this Slosher since he's giving me issues. Let my friend fight him. We'll place these down too. Don't lose. Good deal. Got another assist randomly. Just gonna try to get this guy at bay. I do see the Slosher. I don't see the Slosher. I've lost sight of him. He's still alive. Try to get this covered back up. On the topic of the new Mario Kart game, it looks interesting. So the only thing I'm really concerned about is the drifting looks a little weird. It looks very stiff, especially compared to 8 in that regard. And obviously you can't really tell just by watching footage of how a game feels, but it looks like it feels weird. Which is worrying, because drifting is like one of the most important parts of the game, and if it feels off, you're gonna remove a lot of nice tactile, and that's the thing, it doesn't look tactile. The drifting looks very weird, and again, I'm sure it's probably something you just have to have your hands on to feel, and it probably feels nice. That I would not expect anything less from like a Nintendo game, certainly Mario Kart, so I'm sure it feels fine. It just does look a little off. Everything else is just, it's Mario Kart, right? I'm gonna put a lot of time into it no matter what, so try to have fun with it. Get used to the game as it is. Do I want to back out? team's just carrying us really nicely. Those two, they must be a team or something because they are shredding. And that's the thing. It's the start of a season, right? So we're gonna have a lot of just very strong people in S who did not go to S plus 10 and only played X rank and didn't get quite far enough in X rank to be put back into S plus. I will say this though about the Mario Kart game. It is like, all right, costumes cool, I guess. There's a lot of characters in that game. For me, I'm probably just gonna stick to like the classic roster. I don't know, unless there's just one I become infatuated with, but I doubt that. And I'm not the biggest fan of the costumes. They kind of they look very, and obviously, you know, they're designed more for the people who like the customization, but I'm so used to not having customization outside of like the Yoshi colors or the Inklings in Mario Kart 8. You know, I'm just kind of, I guess, used to not having so many options, so it will be interesting to see all of the options. Another thing is also the kart designs are not really doing it for me, I guess. I like the sport bike designs, but that's just because I like inward drifting bikes, and I don't think there's inward drift in the game. So there's a bike that would most certainly be inward drift in 8 or even Wii, but it is not, as far as I can tell, it's not inward drift. So we'll see how that works. It does look a little odd, I guess a bit jarring. Okay, no. He hit me in the air. That's okay though. But yeah, other than bikes, I'm not really a big fan of just the general kart designs. The standard kart looks very toy-like, and maybe that's the idea they're going for with it. And there's also a lot of other bikes that look very interesting. I'm trying to cover this path. All right, good job. Try to help our friend out. You want to jump down? It's all right if you don't. I don't expect you to. It is very dangerous. Good roll. I'm surprised this weapon is going as well as it is. I'm gonna try to catch any flanks over here. I'm just gonna cover up the ink that they already had. Okay, that's good. Someone's coming from this direction. I thought I got behind the wall fast enough, but I wasn't. Yeah, I'm not playing well. I'm getting hard carried. I'm not doing anything about you. Let me... Oh, we love crabs. Stay away. I think, yeah, I'm just gonna try to be paint support. They've got double crab. Laying that there. Try to get some paint. Thank you, teammate. Try to recover. Did not account for his angle shooter though, being able to reach me. Obviously I know it can, but I haven't played the game long enough to remember what subs certain weapons have on a dime, I guess. Doesn't even make sense, whatever. Up there. Right, I'm gonna get a full charge going, that way I can recharge a lot easier. So, scariest thing is the weapon that can charge crab paint. And I have 2 of them. All the other weapons can't really reach them that easily, so we're gonna try to avoid that. Their pro has a crab. He's probably gonna try to throw it off from an odd angle. I hear it. And then maybe trying to actually double crab. So just block anything that's happening. Again, we're getting hard carried. So I'm gonna, I don't think I can eat a ticket. I'd love to eat a ticket for him and make it worth their time, but that's not gonna work because I don't think they'll let you. You can't interact with anything while you're in a queue. It would be nice. I'm not actually quite sure why they wouldn't let you do that. Probably just one of the tiny little details that they didn't exactly go over. There's your Splatoon 3. Got 5 wins in a row though. That's pretty good. It doesn't matter. We ended the series, so I'll go ahead and eat one of those. once again. And hopefully I don't stay sick. My throat was hurting a little bit earlier in the week. I say earlier in the week, it's more like the end of last week, beginning of this one, but I'm more stopped up now, which I really wasn't like earlier today, but generally if I do try to record and talk, that does make the stuffiness worse. Not quite sure why. I'm sure a visit to Dr. Google would let me know, but it's not always the smartest thing to take knowledge from. Okay, I did say I wanted it. Never mind. I was trying to exit there, didn't let me. I did say I wanted more run speed. I think that's going to help a lot more than stealth jump probably will. Again, like I said before, the cart designs. So they were... Again, they're interesting for sure. Certainly a lot of variety. And we haven't seen all of them, but outside of the occasional bike and maybe the ATVs, the rest of them were just kind of a bit weird. Like, if I were to compare them, obviously they have to be a bit more intricately designed because they have to turn into a plane and then a boat. Like, they're not just going to pop out a little hang glider or put a little propeller on the back of them to swim or whatnot. So I understand that. But, like, if you think back to Mario Kart DS, right? There are a lot of decent looking ones. And here's the thing. So they have some from 8. They have the bitty buggy, right? The little ladybug looking thing. Oh boy. That's going to be interesting. We got one of our teammates from last time on the enemy team. Really not a fan of this map. What was I trying to say? But they have some kart designs that are returning from 8, which is really cool actually, seeing them in an actual setting where they're actual karts and not just customizable build-a-karts. I think that's really cool. That's not great. So I may use those just for, you know, nostalgia's sake, just something I'm used to. Even if, you know, the Bitty Buggy is not my favorite design kart, I'm very surprised that that even happened. I should have actually moved a lot faster. I had the path there. If I'd just painted over to the left. Not thinking fast enough on my feet. Can't even think about what I was saying before. Focus on this. This is more important right now than rambling about kart designs. It's not that important. That's not good. Alright, well, hello. Yeah, I don't... they have a masterclass team. They have a backline, a really good backline, a really good main weapon, and the squeezer. And then the other 2 weapons are really just solid for support and slaying. I don't see this going anywhere at all. Are you gonna lose to the close range? No. You're gonna lose to the close range ballpoint? We traded. Didn't matter. Obviously. I'm very surprised that it took that long to get him anyways. I'm pretty sure I hit him with more than 4 shots, but I guess I did not. It's okay. We're bound to lose eventually, especially against good people. I may switch my weapon though, because I'm not doing a good job at all. I don't feel confident enough with it, especially on this map. What even is the other map? Have we gotten it at all? Let me see. I want to say yes. Once. Every other time it's been black. Okay. It could be fun here. Something that can reach short, but also maybe you can't go wrong with splatter shot, but Junior may be a good one. That AoE is helpful on the little bowl drops that they can't really control as easily. Let me... Okay, I want to try this weapon. Have a better... No. kind of has an adjacent thing. So this is gonna be a little hard to watch, but I'm gonna just try to feed. See if that goes well. I know Mahi's not a good map with this weapon because it's shorter range, but we're gonna try to do the best we can with it. Because I do want to play Slayer a little bit. Obviously, there are better options for slaying in splat zones than a blaster, but I want to get some blaster practice in as well. Since that's the current class of weapons I'm going over, trying to complete. Need to quit jumping. Really bad form. I am excited for missions though. It's gonna be fun. Having that back after Wii, and I didn't even play them in Wii. I don't even think I had internet back when Wii was around. Took us a while to get internet. We finally got it. Well, Squeezer's back. We got the... Okay, I think the game's just kind of doing random stuff here. But I said what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna keep holding to my guns here and just run straight forward and hold trigger, and hopefully something good happens. Hey, that's good. I did not think that would happen. I jumped. So I really just left it up to faith there. Alright, stay over here. That was a good thing. I thought the torpedo came from a different direction, and I don't know why. There was no one behind me. This is why we have quick respawn bolts. What? Did he jump? Nice. Alright, someone may still be over there. Yes. Alright, good job, fella. Where's our charger friend at? Ugh. Jumping in here, it's not smart. I'm probably just gonna get deleted. Hello. Just spark. Try to get some chip damage on him and let my teammates take him out. Definitely did not have the positioning for that. Maybe if I was a Luna, but certainly not a regular blaster. That random straight line of ink is going to end me from the charger not even aiming at me. I'm having a really hard time against the Splatoon Stamper. I think I may be, too gung-ho about actually attacking. Careful. I'm jumping too much. Recover. Hello. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna try to support this way because I don't feel too safe jumping forward. I should. Again, I said I was gonna run forward and feed, and I'm not running forward and feeding. Oh, you got some damage. Keep him at range. I'm just gonna try to play guard here. Alright, good. Alright, good enough. I would have traded with him at the minimum, if not just taking him out, so that's fine. Ugh. I don't want to be continuously matched with the same people, though. That's not fun. It's not fun. And I guarantee you there's not 8 people playing the game right now in this certain bracket. I'm sure there are many more. And it may just be that it's having a hard time actually matching range, apparently. Because I think they changed it. It used to not match by range, but now it does. I could be wrong on that. It could still just be random. In specifically Anarchy. Yeah, see, that looks more... Well, okay, they have dapples, but... No. No, not at all. Unless it's averaging out both the Splatana and the Squeezer, their short and long range firing loads, then maybe. That's a big maybe, though. I just don't see it. Because, yes, they have dapples, but I don't think that makes it up. Like, let's assume the Jet Squelcher would be a 4, an E-Liter would be a 5, and then, like, a Splatter Shot would be a 3. That doesn't sound right. Dapples would be 1. Junior area would be 2. Splatter Shot 52 gal would be 3. 4 would be Splatter Shot Pro 96. 5 would be Jet Squelcher. 6 would be E-Liter. That type. So we're gonna quit trying to math anything else. But both the Squeezer and the Stamper would have a 5 for Jet Squelcher. However, they'd be decreased probably down to a 4 because of the shorter ranged options on their weapon. If the game even calculates it like that. I don't like this. This does not feel great. Good job. I don't have to do anything anyways. Maybe Range Blaster is the option here. I picked a faster weapon because I thought maybe I would have an easier time with a shorter ranged one that's a little bit faster, but it may not be that worth it. The Kraken variant may be pretty nice on the Range Blaster. Alright, that's not amazing, obviously. Oh, that was good. Don't run into the rain. Stay alive. Good job, teammates. Oh, yes, good job. The power of teammates. No, you don't. No, you don't. I don't care if I trade. As long as I do something of value. Hello. That. Okay, I was gonna question that. There's a Spella. Back up. Mark anyone over there. Nice. I don't have to aim at you directly, since you can't really get an easy aim on me, just in general. That's not one of ours. That's one of ours. Blob's on the right. I assume someone's fixing to make this flank. Or attempts to, at the very least. I maybe should have damned it a little bit more to the left. Alright, not smart. Alright, that's good. Stay alive. Stay alive. Ah! Maybe he should have just ducked there and not tried to do a consecutive blast. I would have been fine. Alright, play stealth. They don't know. They only have one blob. Alright, good job, team. Thank you. Gonna use that as paint, honestly. There's the blob. Back at it again. Yeah, no, I don't need to approach him like that. That's the one thing they want you to do, is approach them from a straight line, because that's where their attack radius is. Nice. I don't mind taking that there as long as our teammates can get back in. They've gotten 3 down. As long as we play it safe, make sure we have enough space to move, we should be good. You can't outpaint all of us. Oh, hello there. Goodbye there. Yeah, he's getting a little ambitious for what he can actually do. I'm hitting these pillows way too often. Jump. Nice. Now he may attack right there. We'll see. Nice. Okay. That was a good game. Not great, obviously. There were some mistakes there, but there's going to be mistakes. That's kind of normal. That's normal. That's a fair large amount. Probably from a lot of the point sensor I was throwing out. Point sensors. That's cool. I don't really feel like I was doing particularly great otherwise, though. Oh yeah. So, back on the topic of carts, because I know we love rambling about carts. There was one good design, the B-Dasher, which has pretty much been in every game since DS. Technically, it was not called the B-Dasher in Wii, but I think in one region it was called like the B-Dasher Mark II or something like that. But it's naturally called the Sprinter in just normal US. And I don't know what it's called in other languages because I can't read them. But it is interesting that it had a weird design there. And it doesn't really even look like the B-Dasher, but that's what it is. That's why I thought it was the same thing, because it was called that somewhere. Probably like Europe or something, had to guess. I think they called the Sneakster the Nitro Cycle or something like that, which is a pretty cool name. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like, I think the Sneakster's pretty cool name too, but Nitro Cycle's like very over the top. Oh, he jumped out, that's great. I didn't even have to pressure him that much for him to jump out. I think he overestimated me, and I'm fine with that, overestimate me. Alright, we're just gonna wait. Take the good side. Oh, I missed! I need to quit jumping! Oh, that's not good. Random stray shot. I didn't think he had moved that quickly. If he had dropped down here, that's probably how he did it. I doubt he went all the way around because that does not make any sense. Oh no, I thought he threw it down there. Why did I think he threw it down there? I thought he threw it over in this direction, not behind me. But my ears were telling me a different story, and that's why I kind of freaked out. It was like, oh wait, no. Alright, good. We both had a very poor aiming moment there. I only came out on top because randomness. Good job, teammate. Very good job. Alright, awesome. I think I see a jump point coming in there. Most certainly not, because it would have came in by now. Nice. Wait, I'm gonna stay hidden because I think he's gonna maybe rush. Yes. Give it to me. He may see me. Come on. No. Come to the patch of ink over here that's not your color. That's very good. Yes. Nice. Okay. That's what hiding gets you. Losing points. Fixing to lose my life, too. It took too long to do anything of value. That was kind of worthless. I feel like the super jump slam is kind of weaker than it was in 2. No, well, okay, no, it's probably stronger, right? But it feels like it's weaker than the standard jump, which I guess would make sense because one's safer. How am I missing all of these? How am I missing all of those? Again, I'm jumping. May want to intensify. I don't know, though. I don't think that works very well with the quick respawn set because I don't have anything built for that. Stay alive. Alright, good job, team. Nice. Alright. I'm going to anticipate the blaster. Nice, he ran right into me. It's good. That really doesn't reach up on lunges anywhere very well either. Okay. Good job, sniper. Nice. Back it up. Try to catch anyone chasing. I'm gonna take another win. It's going really nice. Hopefully I get back up to S+ somewhat quickly with how these games are going. Didn't really feel like I did much there, but at the very least was maybe an offensive presence. I cannot speak. It's 10 times harder to speak when one, you can hear yourself, and two, you have gunk making it harder to talk. And then enunciate your words. Yeah, I didn't do as good that time. Getting up there though, in points. Ideally, we get another series win, and I'll just call it there, but we'll see. Again, I had an hour. I'm gonna just play for an hour and have some fun with the game. Not have it overstay its welcome or anything like that. And also not be something I needed to edit. So I can just put it out tomorrow with regular stuff. Need to try to get back into the habit of falling and then shooting. Granted, it's not as effective when you don't have as much range as a range blaster, but still, it's a lot more effective than just trying to shoot and hit something with blaster RNG in the air. That's not good. I will say this, Splatoon is nice in the area that an hour in Splatoon feels like a lot more time than an hour in Monster Hunter. I don't remember which part it was, but it took like a whole hour for me to fight 2 or 3 monsters. It may have been actually the last part, part 4 of 4 Ultimate. Because it's like, goodness, this game takes a while to get going sometimes. And that's just true of Monster Hunter in general, right? That's why I try to cut some of the other stuff out by just doing it off screen. Because while it's nice to be able to throw music on or a podcast or something and just listen to stuff while you're just, you know, brainlessly farming a cuckoo or farming herbs and honey. Can't really do that while recording, you know, and it's hard to make your own commentary while your hunter's just kind of sitting there gathering herbs. It's like, yes, this one's particularly green today. Oh, that one had a bit of spice to it. This honey has more bees in it than usual. Alright, so this is interesting. We have a charger on Mahi. You know what? I'm going to face my fears today and dance around the charger's sightlines. with no fear whatsoever. No fear. I'm not allowed to fear. Yes, all caution will be thrown to the wind. But you know what? Sometimes you just have to do that. Now here is a smart decision to just back off. Mr. Charger can't do everything. Okay. Ooh, I don't like this. Ah, no. You know, yeah. Not smart. There's no inkables there. We're down to 60, which is nice. And it's kind of weird that that's not 50. Right? It's a weird number, but I'm sure they did it on purpose. Okay, that did a lot of damage just falling. That did a lot of damage just falling. What? Imagine if this game had fall damage. That would be certainly interesting. Oh, hello there, buddy. Goodbye. I had to delete that. Didn't work out very... Ah! Comes from behind the wall. I'm not jumping into that bubble. I don't trust it one bit. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ah! Good job. Maybe if I'd been a little bit more lateral in my movement, not just jumping once, would have been better. Take it though. No. Okay, I need to stop. Yes, I have quick respawn, but obviously we don't want to lose control of the charger. That's worst case scenario. I've also seen an uptick in the scope variant. Alright. Not good. I think I'm fighting a little bit too far out of my range here too. Unfortunately, this weapon doesn't have anything to do with that other than, or deal with that, other than flank routes, which this game is notoriously lacking in. Even if I die here, I'm okay. Awesome. Alright, you have a lot of chip. I've taken 2 out. They've taken 2 of ours out. Still technically in the lead. Not by much, though. Fixing to lose it as well. Oh, please pick the zone fillers. This is the most important thing in our lives. It's not. Maybe in this particular instance of that particular life that we had in this game, but yeah, we're gonna lose. This is what happens when you give a team a bunch of short-ranged weapons. On Mahi Mahi, yes, we did have a charger, but they also had some good weapons as well. They had double long-range weapons. Oh well. Can't win them all. Loss number 2. I'm gonna switch out and hope we get a different Floppy. Alright, we're gonna probably counter our losses here and look into using a different weapon that isn't as short ranged and has actual damage dealing capabilities at range. Do I want to play with this weapon? We can give it a shot. However, I could use range blaster as well. We'll use this. That's fine. Yes, much better. Granted, my clicking is very much out of practice. And spacing is going to be very awkward too. I do believe the game put us up against the exact same people as last time, once again. Really don't like it when the game does that. I'm not quite sure why. Again, there's more than 8 people in the world playing this game right now, so why in particular? I'm not gonna let you do that, bud. I'm gonna shoot around the pillow. I'm not gonna be your friend about it. Just gonna let you pick me off one by one. Hello. Okay, well that was bad. Alright, goodbye. Eh. Alright, not a great start. However, we have better defensive tools now. When Splatoon gives you not great matchmaking, make salty. Chargers down, we can press. We even have good... No, we don't have good paint. We have one painting weapon. Again, like I said, when Splatoon gives you bad matchmaking and mad matchmaking, you make very salty lemonade. So salty you'll cry. Made from water of the Dead Sea. Goodness, I can't do much here without just floundering and being miserable. Alright, well that worked. So much. Go through the fizzy. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm just not getting a foothold here at all. Oh, nice. Good chip. Good chip damage. Nice direct. I can't paint the zone though. Just be careful. I'm gonna hang out over on the left side here. Very large burst radius. We're gonna lose control off that though, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Good job. Engage that way too close. I was more worried about the charger being so far back and I wanted to actually hit him, but I didn't account for the ball point being there, which I really should have. That didn't work. We wiped out too. Okay. We've gotten in control once before, we just don't have as much time as we had before. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Didn't even count for that. I think I hit something. Yeah, this is Mahi in a nutshell, ain't it? Paint as much as a blaster can paint. Yeah, this is why you don't play blaster on splat zones, especially Mahi splat zones, when the game likes to give you the same people you fought before and lost to. It's very nice of your game. Look how considerate it is. It wants me to get better at the game, so it puts me up against people I have a hard time winning against. It's like, here you go. Here's you some sparring partners. Oh, that's not cool. Alright, we're switching to a ranged weapon, an actual ranged weapon that can paint. One that can paint well at range. Never mind. We're gonna take the coward's choice. I believe this weapon actually got a range buff as well, so we're gonna do the fun thing. Just paint. Just paint. If the game will even let me, I don't know what the timing is. Okay, well, there you go. Never mind. We'll get one more game in. Clan Blitz. Okay. Range probably works better in zone or clans than zones. So we'll go back to that then. It's one game. We can have a little fun with it. It's not a very effective weapon at fighting. It's more or less just like aim in their general direction and try to be tricky with them and hope they mess up enough that your weapon hits. Now, obviously, if you give them a hug, then yeah, it'll shred them somewhat quickly. Speed is the name of the game here, not actually taking people out. Again, since it has more range, it was really a nice buff for it because it can paint further away, which means you don't have to be as aggressive with it as you used to be. Look at that. Ugh. Well, we'll see how it goes. We should be able to see where a bunch of clams are at the very least. Hoping for a short-ranged team. Okay, for the most part. Well, String's longer ranged, but it's not like it's a sniper. Can be. Really good at the game. You gonna feed my booyah bomb? Oh yes, feed me my... I wonder if that would have actually killed if I didn't jump in the booyah bomb. I feel like that was what actually counted that there. I see you, my friend. I see you, my friend. Oh, stay away. What would have used the roof slaughter? I think, well, he's gone now. It's the Dapples. Alright, try to get us in here. Okay, damage has been dealt. Not for long, though. Alright, we're failing spectacularly. I'm gonna be quiet here and try to do better. Tinatech is playing like a junior. Which Tinatech sometimes do that. Should have used a little bit more actual swimming movement. Again, the main goal there is not getting a quick kill, but an elongated, evasive maneuver. Playing the weapon's strengths to your advantage, getting space and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, he's just gonna walk into that, which is good. I don't win those fights, though. Not against sloshers. They have too much damage, and they don't have to hit as many shots. Obviously, because they have more damage. Yeah, the bomb spam is getting a little annoying. We got a point, which I guess is better than them so far, but... Yes, just be the annoying fly. That removes all of their space. Oh, I don't like the double team combos though, working in their advantage. That did feel very nice. Oh, I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm not staying alive as often. I'm wondering, did I actually use special charge up on my arrow sprays, or did I actually do better stuff with it? Got 2 hits on it. It's not good for anything. I feel a lot more fragile. I'm gonna say maybe, just maybe. I actually had 2 mains of swim speed. Yes, keep throwing your splat bombs. It's very helpful for us. Not annoying in the slightest. They have no one forward anymore. Just gonna try to stall here. Okay, thank you, game. I'm gonna say friend, but the game is not my friend. He's an animate object that looks like an animate. Okay. Take out the apples. Thank you, Fast Fire 8, for just taking out the random stuff. Alright, guys, get your act together and we can clam it up. Oh, thank you for working weapon. Nice. Alright, what's the big idea, fellas? Where's our clam power going? You backed up? Why did you back up? I'm not even booyahing for my booyah bomb. What is taking us so long? Just evade again. Distraction. Oh, what are you doing? Okay, we're getting more clams up. Alright, we've got the lead. Oh, that was a big mess. I don't think you ever really see an aerospray doing that very much, but it had to happen there. I'll take the trade. That's fine. Absolutely adore that. We've got to get bombs right in that area, though, or else guys, we gotta be aggressive. Gotta be aggressive. That was where my problem came in. Stay away from that. Good deal. Alright, we just blocked this with a clam. Or, not a clam, sprinkler. Yes. Thank you, sprinkler, for being very good. Muy bien, I think. Muy bien. Whatever. I don't speak that language. Oh, that was a mess. That was a big mess. Oh, I was so anxious. I'm not used to sitting in their spawn like that with an arrow spray. That felt so awful. It worked. It worked out, but man. Oh, how many kills did I get? 15. Died 8 times. Didn't get that many specials off, but I guess I did my job, right? Technically. I painted a bunch. I painted a very large amount. Got the most splats, which I assume most, or not most of those, but some of them were probably assists, right? But it worked out at the very least. Alright. Thank you for watching. That went well. Again, I'm not going to let it overstay its welcome and start just getting angry at the game, because that's very easy to do sometimes. But yeah, again, I hope you enjoyed. I thank you for watching too. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you for Switch 2. Maybe. Depends on if my internet can sustain the game that it's trying to download for a decent amount of time. I don't remember how big the game it is, but it is the digital version, so I'll have to download it. Either way, once again, thank you for watching. And if it's not going to download in time, I could just always pause it and play Splatoon. Right? I guess I could. Either way, once again, thank you for watching, if I can say that enough, and I'll see you next time.